This is your girl, Nola. I'm back in the building. I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope you had a happy holiday and a happy new year. We are in the building to discuss a few topics today. So I'm going to be dropping a few quick videos. And this is really going to be like commentary based. Plus we'll pull a few cards. But again, welcome to the channel. This is again Nola. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and please do not forget to subscribe. All right, so what is this about today? We're going to talk about Tamar Braxton, right? She finally, after a couple of months, posted James Wright and the alleged incident that he had with Chrisean Rock, right? So recently, I think it was yesterday, I guess it was New Year's Day, somebody had posted, somebody had leaked a video, and that video showed Chrisean barging into the dressing room, interrupting a prayer circle in order to stand next to Tamar. So Tamar and Tony were standing next to each other. A lot of people found no issue with it and felt that what's the big deal, and other people found that to be an issue. I'm not here to really kind of go back and forth with who is right and who is wrong in that situation, because I feel like at the end of the day, all grown folks should have decorum in situations, right? So I'm not going to spend time on that. But my problem is that, who leaked this tape and what was the purpose behind it, right? Because I think it kind of backfired on whoever tried to leak it, right? It kind of backfired because the way that it was presented, it showed that Tamar and Tony kind of weren't so friendly towards Chrisean. Now, on the other side of that coin, we have to hold the Chrisean accountable. This is not about Tony Braxton not holding Chrisean's hand. I don't give a damn about, we're not in kindergarten here, right? We're not going to sit here and try to force a grown woman to hold hands with another grown woman. That's completely ridiculous, right? She has a choice to decide who she wants to hold hands with, prayer circle or not. They weren't in church. However, my problem is that we're missing the whole point that someone was actually assaulted, allegedly assaulted. We keep going into this situation and that situation. What happened to the assault? So, Tamar Braxton took to her Instagram and said, "I am over it." Right? I'm over it. Coming from my sister who has lupus and don't even really come outside is the bottom line for me. This is so traumatic. This is what Tamar wrote. Having to relive that night for some greedy person that wanted to sell footage. We know I have all the footage y'all have been waiting on. God don't like ugly. It's on my YouTube. I'm never ever discussing this again. So let's be clear. Tamar is trying to bury this. We talked about this in the first reading, right? She's trying to bury this. She doesn't really want to see this escalate any further. So I don't understand why we keep attacking Tamar and now Tony, because truth be told, she's trying to bury it. Truth be told, she would have wanted to handle this internally, but the people who want this out, who have a grudge and a vendetta now, they want this out. So my thing is this. Let's start with the fact that someone was allegedly assaulted. People want the actual assault to be shown. That's not even necessary. Right now, a man and a woman could be in their home and an assault could happen. Do they have footage? Do we believe the woman less, or do we believe the man less because they don't have actual footage of it? This is why we do investigations, right? So Tamar Braxton posted footage of James Wright after he was allegedly punched in the face by Chrisean at her show. Also wasn't here for people dragging Tony for not embracing Chrisean. So in the video, to make a long story short, it is on Tamar's YouTube channel. She pretty much just said, listen, first of all, we were in a prayer circle. We had never even met Chrisean in person. Chrisean barged through, interrupted the prayer circle, right? Tried to hold hands with Tony, who didn't know her from a can of paint. Okay? Eventually, Tony tapped Chrisean on the shoulder. Tamar hugged her. They had a picture all together. All seemed pretty calm and well. They further explained that there was some miscommunication about what Chrisean was supposed to be doing, what side of the stage she was supposed to be standing on. All of that is in the first reading. Where is this headed? Who released the tape? What's going on? I'm going to say this. I believe James Charles was assaulted based on my reading. I'm going to stand on that. Right? I believe he was assaulted. I believe that Tamar, of course, didn't want to escalate the situation. She wants to diffuse it and move on from it. So we need to stop attacking. We need to stop attacking people. Let's normalize this. Let's stick to what actually happened, right? Let's stop coddling and defending people that exhibit bad behavior. Even if you wanted to go to the prayer circle situation, everybody has their opinion about prayer circles and who should interrupt and who should interrupt. Even when I was in the casino industry and we would have business meetings and we would be doing buzz sessions, if you will, no one just interrupted the circle. Like, you walked up and you stood where there was a space. You didn't just barge in. The only time you would interrupt the circle is if the person who was leading the circle, leading the session, said, hey, oh, you know what? Chris is here. Chris, come on through and talk and introduce yourself. You never break a circle, even in a business environment. So I don't understand what's so hard to comprehend about what people saw as right and wrong, right? So, LaTroy, he got online yesterday trying to defend himself and trying to say that multiple people were sent this tape. And he doesn't know how it got into the hands of TMZ. Pretty much trying to say he didn't do it and he didn't take $5,000 because allegedly somebody was given $5,000 for this tape. Spirit, give me the energy around this whole Tamar, Braxton, Chrisean Rock, James Wright situation. Was somebody paid for this? So you have the Magician, the King of Cups, the Star card, the Three of Pentacles, and the Empress. And I'm going to pull one more. I'm going to pull one more card. Give me the energy. So last night when I was looking at LaTroy, I had pulled a couple of cards, right? And these cards are very similar from last night, even though it's a different deck. Definitely somebody's lying, right? And it's definitely a male, right? King of Cups energy is here in the messages along with the Magician. And that represents a male person released this video. They're lying about it, right? They're lying about it. Why did they release the video? Because they feel what? They feel dishonored. They feel that they were affected in business. The Star card is about somebody dimming my light. So somebody feels that their light was dimmed, right? They're trying to basically, in the effort to expose Chrisean, they kind of didn't, I guess they're just trying to expose Chrisean at the core of it. That's the core of it. The Three of Pentacles is about releasing. This is somebody's from Tamar's team, right? Three of Pentacles is all about somebody from the team. Somebody from the team that Tamar now has direct conflict with. That she has now removed and no longer is showing love to. Relationship, creative differences, right? Empress, creative differences. This person is trying to defend themselves and they have resentment. LaTroy is trying to put it off like he didn't do it. On the back of his hands, he's got the Ten of Swords, which is stabbing somebody in the back. Whether you did it directly, LaTroy, or you did it indirectly through another male person, you still did it, right? You made sure that it got in the hands of somebody to throw the rock and hide your hand. You did it. At the core of it, you know, you got on your live stream, and I was on your live stream last night under my backup page, but you tried to say, well, I sent it to 10 people and no anybody, it still came from you. You still got the footage, shared it with another man who's your friend. And I think it's 2 minutes in it because they show two male energies. One was the King of Cups and one was the Knight of Cups. So one is older than the other. But it shows 2 men involved in this. I don't believe LaTroy, I mean, in terms of this situation. There's too much going on here with being upset, being bitter, being ousted, trying to defend yourself, and at the core of it, basically got the footage to look for something that was damaging. The core of it is that he's trying to prove that something happened with Chrisean and James Wright. So for all the people who keep believing that this didn't happen and it didn't exist, and where's these people are too determined to prove it, to say that it didn't happen. Despite the fact that James Wright is brown skin, dark skin, his mouth was bust. So his mouth was bust. His nose definitely looked bust. He had blood on his nose. He had a chipped tooth. I mean, we expected to see his complete tooth out like Chrisean's tooth, right? No, he had a chipped tooth. That, like, we keep taking away from the fact that somebody was hurt. But just know there's two men involved, and just know it was intentionally done. And just know they got a check for it, but it wasn't really about the check, because that money wasn't a whole lot of money, right? It wasn't a whole lot of money. It was the principle of it. It was to prove that Chrisean was abrasive. It was to prove that people felt bothered by her. It was to prove that the environment wasn't copacetic, as you would say, as they were trying to portray. That's but what it did was it forced, because the video was released, it forced Tamar to come out swinging, because people started attacking Toni Braxton. At the end of the day, Toni don't have to hold hands with no damn body. I wish somebody make me hold hands with somebody, prayer circle or not, period, right? I don't know why we feel like we have this thing where somebody got to do something. If they don't want to do something, so somebody going to make you do something you don't want to do? They're going to make you hold hands with somebody, hug somebody? That's childish. So, only reason why Tamar came out with this is to defend Toni. We all know this, right? But the point of this reading today was to give commentary behind it and to just kind of see who did what. $5,000 is not a whole lot of money for somebody living in California. Let's be clear. Or somebody living in Atlanta. To me, this was done to prove a point. And they got what they did do is it worked, because not only did they show that there's something the environment wasn't as we were told, like nothing happened, right? We just made it all up. They proved that something was happening. But what they did also do is it forced Tamar to address the situation, because Toni was getting attacked. Therefore, it forced Tamar to finally show the footage of James Wright. So they accomplished their goal technically, even though it did backfire. So it was a win-win situation on both ends. All right? Now, with all of that being said, they had multiple people have been affected by this. Will this situation hurt Tamar? Will Tamar continue to thrive, continue to flourish, or will this hurt Tamar in any way? Give me the energy around Tamar Braxton. Will this situation with Chrisean Rock hurt Tamar Braxton? And she has a Tower card moment in reverse. That just means basically she'll find that some people will have a problem and some people won't, right? But ultimately, and again, some people will have a problem with it, some people won't. Right? Some people will be defending it, some people won't. But ultimately, Tamar is going to keep moving herself forward. Her Six of Swords is in reverse, which represents to her, this feels like I'm over it. I'm tired. This is unresolved. I'm tired of talking about it. I wish Chrisean, and I know Chrisean, and let me say this. I do like Chrisean. And I have been accused on this very channel of defending her too much. But I wish Chrisean would just tell the truth about what happened. Because by not telling the truth, it just creates so much division and it's unnecessary. At this point, it keeps coming out and it keeps becoming damaging. And it's not good for Tamar, and it's definitely not good for Chrisean. Because what happens in this Tower moment here, it affects everybody. Everybody's in this hangman aspect, which means everybody is basically being affected in some way or another. Even in this Five of Wands, this avoiding conflict, avoiding it is not help it, put it to bed, put it to rest, but understand why they don't want to do it, right? They just want to move forward. I do feel like everybody's just going to move forward. They have the Two of Wands. Everybody's just going to move forward. Everybody's going to continue to get opportunities, but this will continue to be an unresolved thing, right? It will be continue to be an unresolved thing. That's what it looks like. Give me the energy around Willis. So I don't feel like it's going to affect Tamar to a strong degree. I just don't. I see it being some people having some issues, but you got to remember, Tamar is in her late 40s. Chrisean is in her 20s. Chrisean's fan base is not Chrisean, is Tamar's fan base, right? It's really that simple. Give me the energy around Toni Braxton. Will she be affected by her unfriendly behavior or perceived unfriendly behavior with Chrisean Rock? Will this affect Toni Braxton? And her Seven of Pentacles is here. Again, that's not going to affect Toni Braxton in that way. Toni Braxton's audience, this is the legendary Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton's audience is Toni Braxton's audience. I'm a Toni Braxton fan. Her and Chrisean having problems ain't going to stop me from listening to Toni Braxton or participating in anything that Toni Braxton got going on. And that's how a lot of people gonna feel. That Nine of Pentacles that's not gonna affect the Seven of Pentacles is not gonna affect Toni, and even in that Nine of Pentacles, it's not gonna affect Toni, especially Toni, and to no large degree. It's not. What about the man LaTroy? Will this affect his career, his ability to have opportunities with other celebrities? And give me the energy around LaTroy. Will he continue to flourish and grow? And he has the Two of Swords. That's going to make people think twice about dealing with him. Because even though he's trying to say he had nothing to do with it, you still had something to do with it, period, directly or indirectly. Your Two of Swords is here. And it represents conflict. And it represents people feeling like they're going to pass on you sometimes because of the way you handle the situation. All right? It was not LaTroy's place to bring this to the public forefront. As a leader, and this is why I told y'all in the reading, I'm going to attach the first reading, that Tamar probably was going to have a problem with him doing that. And they have fallen out since, right? I told you Tamar wasn't going to try to see Chrisean get in trouble. She's been trying to squash this and quash this ever since. But y'all keep on trying to blame Tamar for this. Now we upset because Toni Braxton didn't want to hold hands with somebody that she didn't know initially as she walked up. She don't have to. That's my opinion. And that's I'm going to stand on that. You're not going to make me hold hands at my age. No, I don't think so. And the core of it is somebody was assaulted. That keeps getting lost in the shuffle. The core of it was somebody was assaulted, right? We want to talk about with Tamar and Toni and even LaTroy, but at the core of it, we keep forgetting that a person was actually allegedly assaulted. We saw blood from this man's nose. We saw his nose, even though his brown, dark brown, his nose was big and red. You could see his nose had been, he was assaulted. You could see his face, his tooth was cracked on the top, right? Why? Well, it does so. He's got to have a missing tooth for us to believe it. His face, his nose has got to be split in half to make it more real, right? I guess our community is so used to being, our community is so accustomed to abuse that we normalize abuse. We got to see the person with a complete busted lip and a complete wide open nose and a complete tooth missing to say that the person was actually hurt. That says a lot about our community. That says a lot about our community. And the fact that we keep going around in a circle talking about everybody else but the person who assaulted the person, and also keeping in mind the person who was assaulted. That says a lot about who we are. That says a lot about the world we live in. That says that somebody could assault you and people can make excuses for it, right? At the core of it, I wish them all the best of luck. They seem like they're just trying to move on. I'm not taking, James eventually trying to sue Chrisean to the, down the road, right? People do civil lawsuits all the time. That's still on the table for me. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. And it's good to be back. I'll be putting out some more content soon. Peace and blessings. Bye.